Another episode of 21 Questions coming at you across the next 12 or 13 minutes or so. Thank you very much for your company. My name is Mike. I run a trivia company called Trivia Tribe. Let's get going. Question 1. In tennis, the Grand Slams are the Australian Open, the French Open, the US Open, and what? Wimbledon, the big one, the first one. Question 2. The Chipmunks are Alvin, Theodore, and whom? Boy's name starts with S. Simon, the Chipmunks, all voiced by one guy who basically spoke in his normal voice and just sped it up. Really. Question 3. In music, a canon like row, row, row your boat is also known as what, beginning with R? It's a round. A round. Question 4. True or false? The national anthem of Vanuatu is Yummy, Yummy, Yummy. It's actually true. It's spelt Y-U-M-I, and that word 3 times, Yumi, 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 but it's actually pronounced Yummy, Yummy, Yummy. It reads Yumi, Yumi, Yumi. It's pronounced Yummy, Yummy, Yummy. That's enough of that. Question 5. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle created which fictional detective? Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, one of my favourite literary characters. Question 6 is a famous quote question. Is this a famous quote from JFK, John F. Kennedy, or Winston Churchill? Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That's a famous quote by JFK. I don't think that would work in Australia. Can you imagine? Why would I do anything for the country, mate? I'm busy. I've got to wash the car. I've got to mow the lawn. Question 7. Which band were Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, and Ace Frehley, sometimes pronounced Frehley, the original members of? That's Kiss. And let me tell you, 12-year-old me loved Kiss. My brother and I had the makeup kit. We would put it on very badly and mime to their songs. I don't know why I told you that. I wish I hadn't. After question 7, we'll do the first clues for the episodes. Who am I? It's a person, a famous person, but a little bit of a more obscure one to the kind of person we normally do on this podcast. Who am I? I was born in Denmark in 1909 and trained as a classical pianist from a very young age. My early career was interrupted by the outbreak of World War II, which forced me to flee my home country. A life in showbiz in America beckoned. More clues coming up for that one in a little while. For now, though, question 8. Which small implement is similar to an axe and is also the name of a cut of steak, often a ribeye or Scotch fillet, with the long rib bone left intact? That's a tomahawk. Tomahawk small axe, tomahawk steak, delightful. Question 9. Is the official language of Cuba Spanish, Cuban, or Portuguese? In Cuba, the official language is Spanish. Question 10. In January of 2013, which Japanese car company reclaimed the title of the world's largest car manufacturer and has kept it ever since? That's Toyota. Toyota. Question 11. True or false, the name Geronimo, as in the Apache warrior, translates to one who yawns? That's actually true. Geronimo. Apparently he yawned a lot, although they wouldn't have known that when they named him, surely. Why do you ask? Question 12. Is jasper a type of herb or gemstone? Jasper is a gemstone. I think a green one. Don't really know my jasper. Question 13. Did Charles Dickens live and die in the 1700s or the 1800s? Now, if you're a long-term listener to this podcast, which isn't really possible given this is only episode, I think, 22, but if you've been listening for a while, you'll know a few episodes back we did Charles Darwin live and die in the 1700s or 1800s? This time it's Charles Dickens, and the answer is actually the same. The 1800s, 1812 to 1870, Charles Dickens wrote Oliver Twist, A Tale of Two Cities, lots of classics. Good. Question 14. Which 1987 movie starred Kevin Costner, Sean Connery and Robert De Niro and was set in Prohibition-era Chicago? That's The Untouchables, which is still a very good movie, holds up really well to this day. More clues now for the Who Am I? We're talking about the gentleman born in Denmark, the classically trained pianist. Here we go. I eventually settled in the United States, and even though I spoke almost no English when I arrived, within 5 years I had become a star with my own TV show, a movie called Higher and Higher with Frank Sinatra, and regular appearances on Bing Crosby's Craft Music. I became known for blending classical music with comedy, often interrupting performances with jokes, sound effects, and audience interaction. Gifted performer, this man, but we'll talk about who that is after question 20. Question 15. In the cartoon strip Peanuts, what did Lucy's brother Linus carry with him everywhere he went? He had a blanket. Question 16. Which S word, a word that starts with S, is the act of speaking one's thoughts aloud when alone or regardless of people listening? You see it a lot in Shakespearean-type plays. They're called a soliloquy. And don't think I didn't freak out about my ability to say soliloquy, but I got it out there. Not too bad, really. Question 17. Which international aid agency was Henry Dunant the founder of? Now, it could be pronounced Henri, but it's spelt Henry, and Dunant, but I think it's Dunant. So I think what I'm reading in my Australian accent is Henry Dunant is Henri Dunant. Anyway, which international aid agency was Henri Dunant the founder of? That'd be the Red Cross. That was a lot of fuss just to get that question out, let me tell you. But Henri was the recipient in 1901 of the Nobel Peace Prize. Good for him. Question 18. Is the currency of Egypt the pound, the dollar, or the parak? It's the Egyptian pound. Yeah. Question 19. Alive or dead? It's always an alive or dead. I give you a name. You tell me if you think that person is alive or dead. Alive or dead. Rudolf Nureyev, Russian ballet dancer who famously defected from Russia to America. Now, I didn't tell you when he defected, but it was a very long time ago, and he's been dead for a very long time. Died in 1993. Question 20. Tricky music question. Which three-word song title was the name of different songs released by Bon Jovi in 2000 and No Doubt in 2003. They both had the same song title, completely different songs, and the title was It's My Life. I don't very often repeat questions for my live trivia shows on this podcast, but I'm repeating that one because I thought it was fun. Okay, that's 20 questions done. Here comes the final clues on the Who Am I? Who am I? One of my most famous routines involved turning punctuation into spoken sound, and I frequently played with the expectations of formal concert performance. In another of my more famous routines, known as inflationary language, I took words with numbers in them and added one. So wonderful became tootiful, and before became B5, and create became Cree9. I was nicknamed the Clown Prince of Denmark, and I became one of the most popular musical comedians in the world. My first name is Victor. I am Victor. Victor Borg. Some people pronounce it Victor Borge. That is 21 questions done and dusted, and now we'll do the player questions. If you would like to submit a player question for this segment, please send it to me via the 21 questions page on Facebook. Send it to me and the answer if you like, but I will look it up and double check either way, and I will use it on this podcast. I'll give you a shout out and ask the question. Kerry did that last episode. She asked the question, did Ray Sawyer from the band Dr. Hook need to wear an eye patch? By that I mean, was he missing an eye, or was that just a costume choice? And the answer was, he needed to wear an eye patch. He lost his eye in a car crash way back in 1967. There you go. This episode's question comes from David from Petrie, who asked, how many beaches does Australia have? That's a good one, David. Thank you very much. We will give the answer to that next week. Okay, that's 21 questions done for another episode. Thank you very much for listening. Send me your question via the 21 questions page on Facebook. This podcast comes out Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Meet me back here on whatever day is next that day. You know what I mean. And we'll do 12 minutes of trivia together again. Thank you very much. I've been Mike. Bye.